Got my co-pilot with me today. Winnie is so far not loving this weather. All right guys, so we are at Community First. My company built 2 houses in phase 1. We're now in phase 2 and we've got this one under construction over here. I'm about to introduce you to Saul and Alex. What's up, boys?
Hey, how's it going, Matt?
How are y'all? Good to see you.
Good. Oh, you got your doggy.
Yeah, baby. This is Saul and this is Alex. Guys, thank you for managing this project. You know, on all my videos, I talk about being a builder. I'm not really a builder. These are the builders right here. These guys are the ones who actually make it happen. Saul, tell me a little bit about this project. Who's the architect here and what have we done so far?
So this is a Michael Shue joint venture with us at Build, and we are now just about finishing up framing. We got our guys from Madeira to frame the sucker up. We got wrapped fully with this Alumaflash, just basically like an armor shield for your house.
Yeah, that's right, Alumaflash Plus, we use it a lot. So what's the square footage in this house, Saul, do you know?
The square footage actually under the roof, including this outdoor porch here, we're looking at around 350 square foot.
Okay, gotcha. And then we'll have kind of a mini kitchen inside. We've got a refrigerator and a microwave?
Actually, no. Out here, they're not putting any kitchens within the actual house. They have these amazing facilities on site. You can just see them over here. We have a bathhouse here. And then right next to it, we have an exterior kitchen.
So no plumbing in this house.
No plumbing at all. You know, people will bring in their microwaves and be able to cook some, you know, their mini fridge. But
there's an under-counter fridge and a microwave.
Okay, under-counter fridge and microwave, but no plumbing basically. So the idea is when you do hit the bathroom, when you want to make dinner, breakfast, you're going to go to the community bathhouse and the community outdoor kitchen space. And this is really going to be sleeping. They've really emphasized the community portion of Community First. Talk to me about framing. This is all traditional framing?
It's all traditional frame, 2x6 stud wall. Gonna have, right now we're gonna lean on rock wool a little bit to see if they'll throw in some.
Yeah, they've already told me they would.
Fantastic. Yeah. Get this thing insulated with some really nice warm insulation. They had already poured us this slab, so.
Yeah, so we got the slab already. It was already done.
We came out here and just started framing up from there. So
how long did it take Madeira to frame this, Saul?
It took them right at 4 days of framing out here to get this thing pretty well dried in as it is right now.
And what's going on with the roof here? We've got a cupola going on?
Yeah, so Michael Shue and the gang designed this house with a nice high ceiling, cupola up top. There's going to be a really cool little sort of glass lantern effect up there when we're all said and done. Framing that cupola with some steel and going to end up just being posted up just like so. That's really you can see it right here in the drawing.
That's cool. And tell me, walk me through the inside. We haven't cut out our windows yet, so you can see the headers for windows. We got a window here, window here, window here.
Sure. So you walk in, you see this window right in front of you here. You can see it right now. It's framed up.
It's got a great view out of this window too once we've cut it out.
Yeah, this is really one of sort of the prime settings on the overall scope of the land. Yep. You walk in, you're in the living room. You turn right, probably end up being a couch or some sort of furniture here.
Okay.
And then on this far wall, they've already planned for hanging the TV. So you walk in, you have a nice little roomy spot in case you want to get your friends over to visit. You can either visit inside or out on the super awesome porch that they designed as well.
And there's no sheetrock on these walls, right? What are we using for interior finish?
Yeah, there's going to be birch plywood throughout the whole interior here. Not
cool.
Only on the walls, but on the ceiling as well.
I like that. Nice and rugged. Should last a long, long time.
Absolutely.
And did you tell me we got a window donation too, Saul?
Absolutely, yeah. With Exclusive and Lowen, Exclusive here in Austin, they're coming together and getting us some free windows for this bad boy.
That's pretty awesome. So Lowen, a Canadian window manufacturer, and we buy those through Exclusive Windows and Doors. Those guys combined have told us they'll give us all the windows for the project.
Right. So to keep on the tour here, you keep walking, and right now in this corner, there's going to be a really cool little sort of utility area. You know, we're kind of a mini kitchen. Again, no plumbing, but we're going to have a microwave. We're going to have a refrigerator. And then really, because this is a tiny home, all that's left is right here. This is the sort of bed area. So really cool window right here, set in this little bed nook. Fit queen size, probably even king size bed here if that's your jam. But awesome. Yeah, that's the tour. It doesn't take very long in the tiny home. So.
And once we get all the windows and the light up and the cupola cut out, it's gonna be a pretty nice and lit area. So this project is not owned by an individual, it's owned by Community First, which is kind of cool. They're actually part of a Catholic charity. This is a church here in Austin, Texas that started Mobile Loaves and Fishes a long time ago to reach out to the homeless neighbors and help them be fed, and realized that, you know, beyond just food, people needed a place to live, they needed shelter. So phase 1, which is on the other side, has 130 of these kind of micro houses. And this section over here, we've got 200 of them being built. We're just one of a lot of architects and builders, some really cool Austin people that are donating towards this. And someone won't live here for free. They're gonna have to actually pay rent to live in this house. There's rules in the community. If you're unruly, if you're not a good neighbor, they can actually kick you out immediately. So this is a pretty cool village. Now, Alex, you got a sample of the exterior. What is this we're looking at?
It's Equitone Linnea, and this was donated by Equitone. And who's the distributor? Universal.
Sorry, Universe Facade.
Materials.
We'll put a link to those guys.
But
this is kind of a cement-based.
Yeah, fiber cement. He wants to chew on it.
You won't be able to chew on that, buddy. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah, so they Equitone and Universe Facades donated like 15 sheets of this stuff, and it'll be.
And the outside's kind of a 3D effect, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a flattened out pyramid, an asymmetrical pyramid.
That's
it's
really
gonna
cool.
Be a pretty cool detail.
I like that. And speaking of cool details, check out that post base you guys did, Alex. I like that. Is that custom made, or did we get that from somebody?
Our guys made that.
Our guys made that. That's sweet. A little knife edge right there to keep that cedar post, 6x6 post, up off the concrete so it won't wick anything up. That's a great little detail. I need that on my house.
Yeah,
for
and
my
then this will
porch.
be a screen porch, so that slot's actually going to get buried.
Okay, so that'll be part of the screen porch when
Yeah.
it's all said and done.
Screen door right here.
Gotcha. Guys, great work. Let's take a tour, but before I leave these guys, I want to say first off that we've donated all our time to the project, and we've gotten a bunch of material donations. I mentioned Lowen Windows and Exclusive Windows and Doors, Equitone. The guys at Polywall donated all the Alumiflash, all the weatherproofing supplies, all the blue barrier. We've got a bunch of subs that have donated. What's the name of the electrician who's donated for us?
We got Phil McCready from McCready Electric. He's donating all of both materials and labor for the whole job.
So we got a bunch of guys that have donated things, but we could use a little bit of help. You know, we got the lumber basically at cost. McCoy's lumber here in Texas has been a massive supporter. I know the McCoy's family personally has given millions to the project. Wonderful people. But there's a lot of lumber, as you can imagine, building several hundred houses like this. So they're giving us this at cost. And the Community First has raised money as well. They've given us a $20,000 or $25,000 credit basically towards materials. But we've got a lot of labor that needs to be paid ultimately for mainly carpentry, both rough framing and finished carpentry. We could use your help. We're doing a GoFundMe page. There'll be a link in the description. I don't ask very often for donations, and I sure appreciate you guys thinking about it if you would. If you donate $75 or more towards the project, we're going to send you a build hat like Saul has on, and Alex and Saul and I will actually stuff them at our office. We've got a couple hundred that I ordered not long ago, so if you want a build hat, there's nowhere you can buy them online, but we'll give one to you if you'll donate to our project.
For this cause, this is the right cause to do it.
It's a great cause, for sure. Guys, great job. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
I'll tell you what, could I park my dog with you while we take a tour?
I love it. Absolutely.
All right, guys. Let's go. Let's take a tour of a couple of the other tiny houses, because I think there's some interesting stuff here, architecturally, and just seeing what's happening with tiny houses. I don't know who the architects and builders are on all these as well, but someone has donated both the architecture and the building on all these. And you're going to see each one of them is just a little bit unique. Hey, how's it going? Good, how are you? Full pine interior. I love that our house is going to have birch plywood, much more durable than sheetrock. It looks like a little two-bedroom. My guess is there's some kind of kitchen living here and some type of bedroom space over here. A little more basic than the materials that are going on in our house. But I like that this community has a variance in architectural styles, in the way it's been laid out. There's a real mix in housing types too out here. There's a bunch of pads for RVs. Oh, I forgot to mention this too. So this pad right here that's been poured, that's gonna get another house, I don't know the full background on this. Hopefully we can come back, but check it out. Underneath these two black tarps is apparently some type of modular construction that's going to get assembled in 2 or 3 days and be ready to go in that pad. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Now there is a lot of architecture that's a little bit more basic. So like this house right here, a little bit more of a shed roof. We've got more of a basic exterior siding on there. Not quite as exciting as that Equitone project of ours. And then this over here is going to be one of the community buildings. I don't see any plumbing yet, but this might end up being a either the bathhouse where the restrooms are going to be, or this might be a kitchen space. And what's interesting is, if you've not seen this before, check out these cables over here. These red cables. If you've seen my videos, most of the time in my videos, we're using this for support on the slab, rebar. But all these red cables, this is going to be a post-tension slab here. So they've prepped it already. They've got this road base that's been compacted, and they'll put these cables through here in a grid pattern, basically like a crosshatch pattern. I don't know exactly what the spacing will be, but they'll drill a hole in the form, and then there'll be chairs that hold these up off the bottom, and these red cables will span all the way from side to side across the building in a grid pattern. And see these right here? This is what's going on the form. And then they put a pneumatic machine right here on the back that's going to tension that cable. That's why they call it a post-tensioning. They pour the slab and then later they come back and tension it. So the slab gets poured, there's no rebar on the slab, and then later these cables basically compress the slab together. They're pushing it in tension for the life of the slab. It's a good way to reduce crackage in your slab, and it's certainly less expensive than doing a rebar slab, which is what I tend to do. The problem with post-tensioning is if you ever have a cable that breaks, let's say you want to remodel someday and change something, if you ever break a cable, it's really hard to fix later. But the idea is that slab is going to tension together, and then this monolithic slab that will get poured here is going to rock like a boat on bad soil that might be below it. I don't know what our soil type is here where we are in East Austin, but there's a lot of clay around and not rock, which means if we've got clay that's expanding because it's wetter or drier in one spot, it can tend to move the building. We want that building to move like a boat and rock on those waves. All right, next house I wanted to show you. This one I do know who designed it because one of these was under construction by my house in phase one. This is Shiflett Group Architects. I like this design. Little small porch on the front here, so you've got a screened in area that you can sit and talk to your neighbors walking by. And then on the inside, again, some birch plywood they've used, which I love. They're really trying to reduce the amount of sheetrock. And then a pine ceiling. I'm not sure if they're going to wrap those 2x that are help supporting the roof, but they've got some pre-finished cabinetry in here. Again, it's probably like 300 or so square feet, no plumbing. Do you know who's building this one, do you, Alex?
No.
Yeah, this is great.
I think this might be one of their production ones rather than the...
Is it? I know Shiflett is the architect on this project though, because they had that same design in phase one where I was.
Yeah.
Now this one we can get into. This is kind of cool. This one, as I mentioned, is a little bit more basic. I don't want to get the floors dirty because my feet are muddy now, but check this out. This is kind of a finished project. And again, they've got plywood instead of drywall. You can see they put a little 1/2x2 on there to cover the seams. We've got a little kitchenette area here with a spot for a refrigerator, probably a microwave in the corner. All these are going to be heated and cooled with mini splits. It looks like Friedrich must have done some donations. That's a Texas-based company because there was a bunch of those in the other section. Little fire extinguisher right around the corner here. Let's go check out this one under framing down here. This one in framing looks like it's also that Shiflett Group Architects plan. And it looks to me like you could probably frame one of these up and with an experienced framer and a good crew in maybe 3 days, 4 days, maybe less, including the roof. So pretty compact. They haven't sheathed it yet. You can see they've got all their cross bracing on just to hold everything intact. But really straightforward. They're just using 2x4s for headers, not a ton of load here. They've got all pressure treated for the porch area. This looks good. Well done, guys. Let's go back here. There's one more in framing this way we can go take a look at. Here's the edge of the property. The whole property is 51 acres. And I forget the total number of housing units, but it's 130 micro homes in phase 1 where we built 2 houses. And then 200 micro houses in this phase 2. Oh yeah, this is cool. Look at this. Now they use zip sheathing on the outside for this house. And looks like pretty traditional 2x6s for everything else. Looks good.
They've got a great screen porch on this one. Great
this one
view.
too.
Yeah, there's a little pond down there.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a view of this too, aren't we? Yeah, because our house,
Similar. Yeah.
you can see our silver boxes right over there with the Illumiflash on it. We haven't cut out that window, but that window of ours is gonna look right there onto the windmill area. I love that windmill. It's not pumping water like they normally would be in Texas, but it is telling us the wind direction. And man, what a fun little iconic thing to have out there.
You should drive around the corner and look at the 3D printed houses over there.
Oh yeah, I should check that out
Yeah.
for sure. And there's a pond right over here too, and some hiking and nature trails. So I guess this is still part of their property, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man, this is really pretty. Before we finish out the video, I want to go over and show you the other section, and we'll go see how our house is over there. We built 2 in that other phase. Let's go see how those are looking. All right, before we leave this phase, let me show you where the bathrooms are. Our house under construction is about 50 yards or so behind us. This big red building here is a community bathhouse, so they have individual shower and bathrooms there. And then this big pavilion is one of the outdoor kitchens. So see the kind of U shape in the back, that's where the big commercial style kitchen is going to be. And then this deck here, there's a bunch of seating and prep areas so people can prep for their food. Cool to see some Marvin windows, but that was probably a Marvin donation. And they've already poured, as you can see, a bunch of the slabs here. There's another crew right here working on some slab pours. Right over there. One of the things I really like, well, 2 things that I really like about this village. Number one, none of these houses are owned by individuals. They're owned by Community First, which is still run by a Catholic charity. So there's a religious component to the neighborhood, which I like. See, it's all. I also like that the people that are formerly homeless folks that are going to live here, they have to actually pay rent. This is not free. They'll have a social worker assigned to them, and they'll have to check in. They're going to have to get a job. They have to pay rent. I don't know the exact cost, but I think if I remember correctly, the rent is going to vary in the neighborhood from like maybe $150, $200 a month to as much as maybe $400 or $500 a month, depending on size of house, because there's a bunch of different housing styles in here, from some of these really tiny ones that you see here to some RVs, and there's even some tents in the community. Another cool thing is there's some other families that have moved in here that are part of several churches around Austin that have moved in and said, hey, we're going to intentionally move into this neighborhood. Now, Unity Hall, this is really cool. Can you see the lockers right there, the mailboxes that are right there? Those mailboxes are key to success if you're someone who's formerly homeless and transitioning out of homelessness. There's the founder right there. Hey! The mailboxes back there are a place now that you've got a permanent house, you've got a permanent place to live, you have a permanent address, you can get a job, you can get cleaned up, you can shower, you have a place to put your stuff down, and really be ready to enter the workforce again. What an amazing community. Community gardens over here, so they're actually growing food over here. A couple tents, they don't have a ton of these, but these are probably the lowest cost way to rent in the community is one of those walled tents. Kind of looks like an African style wall tent, doesn't it? And here's what one of the finished bathhouses looks like right here. So each one of those doors you're seeing is into a individual bathroom, restroom area. And again, a range of styles. Look at that one right there. That one with the tile roof. I know that Heidegge, Louis Heidegge and his firm built that. And this corrugated metal one right here is one of the 2 that my company built. I'm gonna actually go down to the other one. We'll get out of this another one, but that's one of the ones that we built. And Bill Wood and the guys at Madera built that for me, framed it for me. And then we used a bunch of our guys for finish carpentry and some other work. Another bathhouse right there. And then here's a community kitchen that's finished. You can see they've got a full kitchen there. They've got lockers. All kinds of different housing styles. Now we're in phase 1 now, which is much more complete than phase 2 that we're in. Phase 1, I remember I told you, is 130 micro homes. And these were built like 2015-ish, somewhere in that time frame. Let's park here and we'll walk down to the house of mine that we built a couple years ago. It's been a while since I've been here. It's really fun to see all these houses. Here's another one of the same style that Louis Heidegge built, with the deep recessed windows and the tile roof. Bunch of different architects and builders in this phase. I know my friends at Pilgrim Builders did this one over here. Bunch of different architects. This is really cool, but here's the one we built in 2015 maybe. Corrugated siding, looks good, it's holding up well. It's got a C-channel style roof over here as well. We've got cedar for all the porch framing, these 4x4 posts. Somebody's living here, so we can't knock, but this is kind of cool. We got our plaque over here, built by Racing Homes, and the cedar's graying out. I don't know if you can see it. That's kind of cool to see. Cedar looks good, nice and grayed out. Siding looks like it's in great shape. Like to see that. Interestingly enough, when we first built it, they didn't think they were going to put air conditioning in these, and they quickly said we made a mistake and retrofitted. So they've got another just a single mini split, a 1-to-1 here. And this is kind of cool. There's an awesome workshop back here. Let's go see if anybody's working back here while we're here. They've got a woodworking shop in here, and then there's a metal forge down here. Yeah, look at that vise. Look at those vices, aren't those cool with a big...
How's it going today?
Hey man, how's it going? Let's walk over here real quick. I want to show you the chapel. And this is another one of those shiflet houses like you saw under construction in that first. There were 2 or 3 of them in that first one. Here's one that's maybe 5 years old now or so. I think this was also built in 2015 when ours was under construction. Still looks good. We got a little paint chipping right here. Looks like we need to pitch those ledges that the screens are coming onto. You can see the wood's soaking it up and the paint's going. And this is kind of cool. This building here is actually a chapel. Yeah, it's empty. Check this out. This is cool. That's pretty. On-site chapel here. They use coroplast for the windows, so you get a bunch of light in here. This is neat. I think they hold regular services in here. Mini split head in the wall to heat and cool it. Real basic, but durable concrete floors. This one does have sheetrock in the walls. It's interesting, a lot of the projects that we saw don't have sheetrock now. They've really moved towards either pine or birch plywood for wall coverings. I think that's smart for this size of a house and knowing these are going to be lived in by multiple people over the years. All right, that's pretty much it for the tour today. Guys, I appreciate your help. Please consider donating. I think this is an excellent cause. They're really doing some amazing work here. As I said earlier in the video, every time I pull up to a stoplight in Austin and I see someone asking for money, it tugs at my heartstrings, and I don't want to do it, but I do want to do it. And this is the right thing to do. This is really actually helping people transition from homelessness to permanent housing. This is changing people's lives. And with this little village of a few hundred houses, Austin is a different and a better place. Again, 75 bucks and we'll give you a free build hat. We'll send it out to you. But even a small donation, $5, $10, hugely appreciated. We're gonna build that house, and someone's life is gonna be impacted, and many lives will be impacted because that house is gonna be standing for hopefully a few generations. Guys, if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button below. I'll also put a link to Community First if you're interested in learning more about them or donating directly to the organization and not to my build. Certainly love to have you do that. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, otherwise we'll see you next time on The Build Show.